All right, folks. Wow. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to our free week of live trading and training here at Top Gun Options in our program that we call Full Throttle. Could not have timed this more perfectly. Absolute insanity going on, but it's almost things are almost so insane that it's normal. So things kind of aren't insane, right? So we're going to get into my brief here in a little bit, but we have a lot to cover. Was going to talk about how to target profits in a hostile market, and that's exactly what we're going to do because absolute insanity. I mean, the fact that if Thursday or Friday you just hopped on your rocket with Elon and went to the other side of Mars and then just came back, the S&P is essentially flat, the Dow's up a little bit, you'd be like, there's nothing going on. Absolute insanity over the weekend and through this morning. And let me debrief all of this stuff first because it's an I told you so moment, and I hate when people do that. I wrote about it in my book, From Sea Level to Sea Level. If you have an I told you so moment, you either failed as a leader because you didn't speak up enough, or, you were a coward and you just sat there and was quiet. So I'm neither of those because in 2008, I was sitting in the Chicago Board of Trade at ground zero in a volatility arbitrage options trading firm. And I said, don't do this. George Bush, Cocaine Bush, not his dad, the naval aviator, Cocaine Bush, sitting there, playing jacks in the Oval Office when his Treasury Secretary from Goldman Sachs comes running in and says, we got to save capitalism, otherwise we're all going to die. Okay. I said, don't do it. Do not do it. Do not rescue banks. Capitalism without failure is Christianity without hell. Don't do it. It's called a moral hazard. Of course, nobody listened to me, and here comes the Fed and the government and QE and TARP and bailouts, and Wall Street got bailed out. I remember in front of the Board of Trade all the riots, the Occupy Wall Street people. Remember those folks? Then what happened? Franken died, or Dodd-Frank. Financial regulation. We are going to come in with our size 12 government shoes and make sure this never happens again. Barney fucking Frank, who the bill is named after, is on the board of the New York bank that they just closed. Let me let that sink in. The dude that wrote the financial regulations is on the board of a bank that just closed in New York. So, you've been lied to. You didn't pay money to show up, so you're probably sitting there going, this wasn't worth the price of admission. It's going to be worth the price of admission. I closed Tredges on Friday that made $13,000 in a week. Unbelievable, ladies. The fact that Jim Cramer is sitting on TV, it makes me physically ill. If you listen to Jim Cramer a couple of weeks ago, SVB, beautiful bank, blah, blah. Did you not see him during Bear Stearns? Bear Stearns is great. You're an idiot if you don't put your money in there. It's fine. 4 or 5 days later, it was at zero. We reward failure in this country. Do you see Bill Ackman? Whenever the billionaires start freaking out on social media, hide your wallet, folks. Bill Ackman. Did you see him? The government has 48 hours to act or we're all going to die. Bill Ackman. Idiot. Smart money. Bill Ackman, you got to bail this out or we're all going to burn to death. The Mooch. What a great call sign for a guy. Anthony Scaramucci. He is a mooch. So all these rich people, ladies and gentlemen, you know what they do? They privatize their profits. They privatize all their gains, buy more homes in the Hamptons, and then they socialize the risks. Holy shit, if you don't bail us out, everything bad's going to happen. Excuse me? What? Joe Biden is a liar. Joe Biden got on this morning and said, not a penny of taxpayer money is balanced. It's a lie. Ladies and gentlemen, the government intervened. First of all, if the government is intervening in capitalism, it's not capitalism. Separate discussion. The fact that the government says that, okay, all these banks are going to need to pony up. They have all this money that they pony up. They're going to kind of backstop this thing. So taxpayers aren't getting screwed. Of course, they have to say that, or we'd all have our pitchforks and you would see an actual insurrection. Ladies and gentlemen, the last time I checked, banks aren't charities. Guess where banks get their money? We, the people. Do you think banks are going to sit there and go, you know what? All of our customers, this one's on us. We're not going to pass that on to you guys because we're great people. There are fucking banks that charge you money to get your money out. It's a lie. It makes me furious because the average American, once again, gets the shaft. I am for a free market capitalism. Let it burn. We have a system in place, folks. For SVB customer depositors who have less than 250 grand in this bank, we got your back. If it's over 250 grand, that's on you. Limousine liberals in Silicon Valley. Oh, well, Wiz, if we don't bail them out, we won't make payroll this week. Tough fucking luck. I lost my airline career in the 9/11 attacks. And guess what? I pulled myself up and I got through it. Did you see what the government's doing to the employees at SVB Bank? They are paying them 1.5 times their salary to keep working. So only the government can pay a failed company. Not only did you not lose your job, you got a raise. This makes me furious, folks. And I'm going to give you my whiz brief. And then we're going to go Gordon Gekko. This is whiz right now. This makes me furious. Unbelievable. They did this, folks. So if you don't understand what's going on, again, if you were away this weekend, you have no idea what's going on. What happened over the weekend? We, the people, are cleaning up the Fed's mistakes. So, ladies and gentlemen, when the Fed got involved again in saving capitalism at the bottom of the scandemic, right? Here we go. Let's just a little history lesson here. Right here. I made millionaires, ladies and gentlemen, right here, January 22nd, 2020. I said, get out of the market, buy volatility, buy puts on the S&P 500. The market is going to implode. At the same time, Ray Dalio, the so-called smart money, was sitting in Davos on CNBC that said, what to you? Cash is trash. If you're not in the stock market, you're an idiot. That's when I looked into this camera and this microphone and said, he's lying. Donald Trump is lying. They're all lying. COVID's coming. The market's going to crash. I made millionaires. Then what happened? After they all got it wrong and said, oh, my God, we're all going to die, bail us out. Well, right around here, Jerome Powell jumped in to save capitalism. The biggest financial nuke ever known to humans to save, again, capitalism. And all of this is bullshit. Cheap, free, easy money. Cheap, free, easy money. Now, with the Fed raising interest rates, and real quick, folks, does anybody remember when the Fed, it kind of all broke that the Fed's been doing insider trading? All these Federal Reserve lieutenants and captains and commander-in-chief, Jerome Powell, have been trading. When did they get out of the market? You don't have to draw an arrow on your screen. I'll do it for you. Right here is where all the Fed chiefs said, oh, yeah, well, geez, okay, we're done. And got out. And then, folks, they started to crank up interest rates, and now we're in a dogfight. We are in an absolute dogfight right now. So they did this, and now this happened. So, ladies and gentlemen, so SVB, yeah, the chief risk officer, like ran Lehman Brothers or something, was the CFO. You can't make this stuff up. But, ladies and gentlemen, they were short term. They were actually short their stuff with longer dated treasuries, right? Did the people at SVB, the heavies, the executives who paid themselves tens of millions of dollars in bonuses a couple weeks ago and dumped all their shares, did they not think that someday the Federal Reserve was going to raise interest rates? Are they that dumb? Folks, this is the smart money. I'm a Silicon Valley banker. And they didn't know that when not when, or not if, but when the Fed raised interest rates, all their shit was going to collapse. If they didn't know that, it's malpractice. If they did know that and did all of this, it's malpractice. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, today is another day where capitalism has failed. And they're lying to you. I'm going to put a bow on this, and then we're going to get airborne, folks. They're lying to you. You are paying for it, unless you're one of the few Americans that does not have a bank account. It's a lie. And Mooch, if you're listening, or Bill Ackman, or all the other billionaires, Mark fucking Cuban, if you're sitting there listening to me, when you all, I loved over the weekend, I've been on Twitter for 3 days straight ripping people apart, folks. When we bailed out the financial companies in 2008, the U.S. taxpayer made money. Bill Ackman tweeted that. He's a fucking liar. Ladies and gentlemen, like AIG paid back taxpayers $22 billion on their bailout. Did you, I'm talking to hundreds of people in this room, did you get a check? Did you? Maybe I'm the only American that didn't get a check in the mail. Oh, Mooch, Ackman, Mark Cuban. The United States Treasury made money on bailing out the financial companies. I didn't see a dime of it. I hate when these people say this. They're full of shit. Oh, and as a reminder, the U.S. taxpayer made money when they bailed out Wall Street. No, we didn't. No, we did not. The U.S. Treasury made money, and by the way, that's over in Ukraine right now. We are $32 trillion in debt. You can't even fathom the amount of debt that we're in, folks. You can't even, if you stacked a dollar bill on top of each other, it goes to like Venus, our debt. So these limousine liberals, these pieces of shit that have 9 houses in the Hamptons, they're lying to you. It makes me furious. But let's transition from being Wiz to being Gordon Gekko. Good. Keep doing this. Somebody was asking in the Max Afterburner group this morning, is this a Black Swan event? No, it isn't. Should it? Yeah. This should burn. They should have let the depositors above $250,000 fry. People wouldn't have made payroll. Hey, man, the world needs ditch diggers too. This is what this country was built on. Deal with it. Nancy Pelosi, whatever. I can't even, I meditated this morning. I did my hot yoga. I knew I was going to get hot. I'm going to talk myself back from the ledge, but it makes me furious when I'm lied to. Joe Biden, these limousine liberals, all these idiots on CNBC, including Jim Cramer. How do you have a job and suck that badly? I'm going to show you how to make money off of this stupidity. It makes me furious. But we're going to channel this anger, this furious, into making money. Unbelievable. It's awful. Seriously, folks, the fact that Barney Frank is on the board of the bank in New York that failed, the dude wrote the financial regulations. It's us against them, folks. It is literally us against them. There are no Republicans and Democrats. It's a charade. It's kabuki theater. It's the elites. It's the belt. I was in Washington last week, walking the hallways. Ladies and gentlemen, the government backstopping this bullshit. These woke venture capitalists. Did you see that they have an ESG officer? One of their CEOs were like at a conference last week for how to whatever. It's oh my God, man. Why am I this emotional about this? Because again, this is another day where our country just inches closer to destruction. If every deposit in this country is backed from we the people, then do it. then that's called socialism. Maybe this is what Joe and the Democrats want to get us to. You know what? Let's just federalize everything. And you know what? Here comes Comrade Wiz at you. Let's do it. Hey, Bill Ackman and Mooch, you make 50 grand a year now. Hey, Jamie Dimon at JP Morgan. No. If us taxpayers, if we the people are fucking backstopping all your shit, you ain't making $20 million in a bonus this year. Start talking like that and see how quickly Wall Street changes the trim in their sails, folks. This breaks my heart as an American. I wore a uniform for this country. I flew over Iraq for this country. I buried 16 aviators for this country and air crew. And it pisses me the fuck off. Don't lie to me. Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. We are paying for it once again. And all the financial regulation that they did after the 2008 crash did nothing. The free money from the Fed that's on your screen, all of this bullshit, we knew this was going to happen. So it's so funny. The tail's wagging the dog right now. Did you see Goldman Sachs over the weekend? So literally 5 days ago, I'm in Washington, folks, trying to beg, kick, and scream to get money to save veterans' lives. As Jerome Powell's down the hallway saying what? Inflation is raging. I need to keep raising interest rates. That was a week ago. A week ago, people were like, I think Jerome's going to raise a half a point, maybe 75 points. Did you see Goldman Sachs over the weekend? Because of this, Jerome Powell is not going to do anything this week. So he's going to pause raising interest rates. We're all still burning to death from inflation because of this instability. Gee, folks, you can't. This is insane. Again, let me get centered because I just, it's a disgrace. I'm heartbroken that this is going on. Let's just call it a day then. Let's just call it a day. It's over with, folks. Everything socialized, everything. Don't you dare privatize your gains, Wall Street, and make me eat it when you lose it. And don't lie to me, Mr. President, that we're not eating it. There's a handful of Americans that don't have a bank account of some sort. They're the ones who aren't getting stuck with it. If you have a bank account, you're getting stuck with it. Unless I would love to see, where's my bank coalition? Hey, Jay, every CEO get on TV today of a bank and go, we are not going to pass the fees that we're getting hit with onto you guys. Did anybody see that yet? I've had it. Kramer's still in the air because we, in this country, folks, we reward stupidity. The guy is awful. Do the inverse, Kramer, and you'll print a shitload of money. So, all right, folks, let's, 18-minute rant. Good. I'll add that on here. But, folks, we're printing money, man. We'll get into this later, folks, but we had these Tredges on. I didn't know this. Let's clear this up right now. I didn't know this was going to happen. I felt something coming with this right here, man. What did I tell you as this happened up through here? I said, there will be a February shit show. Excuse my French. I'm a sailor. What happened? There's your February shit show. And then once we bounced because we were oversold here, I said, no, reload. And last week and the week before, we reloaded, folks. There was one of our Tredges. What was it? Last Thursday, 12 grand in a couple days, folks, on limited risk. I'm going to show you how I do all this stuff because I think we're going to get a technical bounce and then we're still going to go down, folks. It was right here, 225% gain, 12 grand profit on a bear put spread. This ain't hard, folks. Right here on the screen. We had a bear call spread on that made $2 grand, and then this one made its max profit of $12,425. There is more to go. Listen, let me get this out of the way first. Tactically, we're going to get a technical bounce, I think, up to 3,900, and then more of a shit show. I haven't even mentioned Ukraine yet. War in Europe getting worse. Asia with China, Taiwan, Israel versus Iran, raging inflation. folks, this is between now and June. We're going to cover a June trade here in a little bit. Between now and June, man, there is a lot of white. I could be completely wrong. This is what I'm going to teach you about options trading. Wiz, everything you just said, I could not disagree more with. Awesome. That's what makes a market. Do the exact opposite of what I do. Do the inverse Kramer. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. And we've been printing money year to date on this stupidity. Again, guys, I am, if there is an ETF for the inverse Kramer. So folks, I'm passionate about this because, first of all, I hate being lied to, and second of all, because I said this was going to happen in 2008. I've been beating this drum this whole time. As an options trader, we can make money, folks, whether the market's going up, down, or sideways. I'd prefer an up market. Why? Because I don't like people going, Wiz, my 401k is a 101k. I don't like that. But as Gordon Gekko, I love this. I love this stupidity. I love these lies. I love it all. Blue Horseshoe loves Top Gun Options because we will print money on the stupidity of others. Okay? All right. So, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? What an incredible weekend, folks. But I'm excited because God takes care of fools, drunks, and sailors. I'm bases loaded, folks. So, let's go ahead. I'm covered on all bases. I am going to show you over the next couple days and today how 2023 can be your most profitable year ever. And I'm going to show you how we do it, our trading methodology and our risk management process, folks. I'm going to introduce a term, a top secret tactic to you called a Tredge. This guy's making up words. Yeah, I am. I made this word up years ago, and it's printed money. With a trade, ladies and gentlemen, I guess the TR should be green, not the E. In a trade, I want to make money. If I don't make money in a trade, I'm furious at myself. I need to debrief and figure out why that didn't work. With a hedge, I hope it loses money. Whoa, wait, I showed up to a brief and the guy's talking about losing money. Folks, when I went flying in my F-18 Hornet, I didn't want to use my ejection seat. If I was using it, it was a pretty bad scenario, right? So a Tredge is a bilge pump in a boat. If it's going pretty hard, that means there's water down there, right? So a tactic I'm going to show you today is called a Tredge. It's a trade that's going to make money, and it's a hedge that protects my longs. I got some longs, Amazon, and some psychedelics that are getting a little smacked in my personal account that are getting smacked around right now, but they're longs. My Amazon position's out to like Jan of 25 or something like that. This Tredge is going to protect us in the front month, okay? So do me a favor, no distractions, silence all of that electronic nicotine, okay? Make sure you stay to the end because I'm going to have a couple bonuses, okay? After that 18-minute rant, folks, this shouldn't be that much of a big news flash to you, but let's be blindingly clear. Nobody cares more about your money than you. Period. Don't write in the chat box right now like, well, my roommate from college is manages my money, or my uncle, or if somebody cares more about your money than you, you're an idiot. Period. Nobody cares more about your money than you. And this is a perfect example. Bill Ackman and Mooch and Kramer, they don't give a shit about you. You better care about you. I care about you. Because you're not them. So, folks, trading is a form of combat. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to get their ass handed to them. Which side do you want to be on? Trading, combat, complex, rapidly changing, and hostile. That's combat, and that's trading. Both of them are the exact same thing. Why should you listen to me, folks? Over the weekend, totaled it up about $6 million in profitable trades since we started Top Gun Options about 12, 13 years ago, folks. That's doing napkin math. That's about a 70% average annualized return. I'm going to show you over the next couple days. Make sure the link to get in here is the same link for all the rest of the briefs. I'm going to show you how doing this wrong can kill your portfolio. Listening to the so-called smart money, like a Jim Cramer or a Ray Dalio, can kill your portfolio. Folks, everything I'm going to teach you, I'm a political science major from South Jersey, poor Irish Catholic kid. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. Everything I'm going to teach you was used over the skies of Iraq or the skies of Fallon, Nevada at Top Gun and on Wall Street. It's proven. Ain't for everyone. Period. I guarantee you this is not for everyone. We only take a handful of folks whenever I open these doors. Why? I don't want a shit show. No offense to everybody in the chat box right now. I can't have hundreds of people in a member brief. Why? Because I stay in, as I'll be here for 12 hours if you need me to be here to answer questions. So we keep it nice and small. Okay. All right. If you don't know who I am by now, God bless you. But Wiz, Matthew Buckley, flew the Hornet for the Navy for about 15 years, graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School, where, many of you know the Navy Fighter Weapons School as Top Gun. Flew some sorties over Iraq off the Lincoln and the Kitty Hawk, and I was a bad guy, adversary pilot. I was a good bad guy. What's this have to do with trading? Everything, folks. You don't join the Navy to get rich. You join the Navy to serve your country, see the world, all that type of stuff. Always interested in finance. So I started applying everything that I was learning flying a fighter jet, having a strategy, implementing tactics, contingency planning, managing risk. Okay, the guy's a fighter pilot, and he's talking to us about risk management. Yeah. Flying off the pointy end of a boat over bad guy country is kind of dangerous enough, let alone not minimizing all known risks. I applied it to my trading, and it worked with incredible results. Incredible results after the worst tragedy in our nation's history. Clearly, Wiz, you're talking about January 6th. No, I wouldn't, because I'm not an idiot. On the morning of September 11th, 2001, I was packing for my first trip as a pilot for American Airlines. Wife came in holding my son Matthew, who was 8 months old, and said, "You better come look at the TV." An airplane hit the World Trade Center. I said, "I'm busy. I'm packing. Bad weather, small airplane." And she looked like she had seen a ghost. I'm like, "Okay, let me go take a look." And I saw what you guys saw. Blue skies, big smoking hole, and the next plane hit. Didn't even hesitate. I knew we were under attack. I raced into my office, pushed my American Airlines uniform in the plastic out of the way, grabbed my flight suit and my boots. I was flying F-18s for the reserves out of Naval Air Station Fort Worth. Got out there just as they went to a combat posture, briefed with the F-16 guys next door, the SPADs who were tied into NORAD. Folks, it was like Lexington and Concord. Imagine being ordered to shoot down an airliner that day, let alone one flown by one of your best friends. Most of the guys in my reserve squadron were airborne that day. Could you imagine that? I went from potentially flying in an airliner that day for the first time for American Airlines to shooting one down. A couple days later, launched, put a small airplane into the ground, forced it to land because it was flying near prohibited airspace. Why do I bring this up? Because a week after all this happened, I got a photocopied letter from American Airlines HR that said, "Dear crew member, you're furloughed." Furloughed's a nice airline term for laid off. Blink of an eye, I lost everything. Healthcare, my rich airline job, everything. I lived in base housing. So we had saved a little money, and I used it as a down payment for a house. We were wiped out. And then what did I do? I was like, "Are you kidding me? Take a look at the TV there, Chief. Thousands dead, families destroyed." I was like, "Dude, enough. Get up. Stop feeling sorry for yourself." And I said, "Let's go. Time to get serious." My trading, I had to do it, man. I had to pay the mortgage. My wife was going to wait tables at an Italian restaurant in South Lake, Texas, Buca di Beppo. Guess what happened? My results were so good, I popped up on the radar of one of the largest volatility arbitrage firms in the United States, headquartered right there in the Chicago Board of Trade. That was our trading firm right there, man. Those big, beautiful windows. Everybody knows that building, right? You've seen the movie Batman. So I had a blast when I was there. I helped build a hedge fund. I helped build a retail brokerage. Many of you know as Options House, which got eaten by whoever. And it was interesting. I jokingly tell people that I was Eddie Murphy in trading places, just some idiot off the street hanging out with the smart money. I will tell you for a fact, if you didn't listen to my rant 10 minutes ago, there is no such thing as a smart money. Correction, there is. It's us. I've been in these rooms, folks. I've seen the so-called smart money. They're dumb. Matter of fact, the smarter, I love when CNBC introduces people. Legendary investor. I'm like, you mean the guy that's been almost wrong his whole career? You're going to use the term legendary investor in front of that dude's name? It's insane. So I got to see behind the curtain, folks, and the great and wonderful Oz ain't that great. We are a hell of a lot smarter than them, those folks. I guarantee you. You know why? Also, because we trade our own money. I walked a trader out the door, wouldn't let him go back to his desk so he wouldn't do more damage. He lost $4 million in a couple minutes on a biotech. I thought our risk management systems prevented people from trading biotechs. Oh, yeah, he got around that firewall. Well, it's a different sub-story. Walking the dude out, I'm like, dude, what? $4 million, bro. What are you thinking? He looked at me. I shit you negative, folks. He looked at me and goes, wasn't my money, Wiz. And he was gone. Started down in a competing firm down the block a couple weeks later. We are the smart money. Isn't it easy when Bill Ackman or the Mooch, perfect call sign, trades with other people's money or investors' money? It ain't theirs, folks. Love my family. I love this picture because that's when we left Chicago to come down here to Boca Raton, Florida. A couple other things that I do on the side. I run the No Fallen Heroes Max Afterburner podcast. It is currently ranked in the top 2% of podcasts in the world. What the hell is No Fallen Heroes? We're going to talk about it in a second. I've written a couple books, From Sea Level to Sea Level, which actually talks about me going from flying fighters to Wall Street and to the Chicago Board of Trade. Strongly recommend you pick that up. And oh, by the way, also wrote a book about the COVID crash. Timed it to the day, not only the top, but the bottom. The bottom wasn't that hard. Jerome Powell jumped in. It was a Thursday morning, 6 million weekly jobless claims. I remember typing like, oh my God, sell the wife, kids, get even more bearish. And I was getting ready to hit enter when Jerome Powell dropped the biggest nuke ever. And I'm like, deleted it all, and I said, buy everything with both hands. What did the smart money tell you? Well, no, that's a Band-Aid. I'm like, don't listen to them. Again, don't listen to them. And we went straight up and never looked back. Don't believe me? Read it. No Fallen Heroes Foundation, ladies and gentlemen. This is my life. This is the rest of my life. I love doing this shit. Don't get me wrong. If I wasn't doing this, I'd still be doing this. I'd be doing this and not talking to you and having fun with you all. I'd be sitting here in my bunny slippers doing this on my own. But this is what I do now. Okay? Do me a favor. I want everybody right now to silence all those distractions. I want you to focus. I want you to listen. And I want you to turn up your speakers as loud as you can. Turn up your speakers right now, and I want you to watch something. You ready? All right, folks. I appreciate that. Speaks for itself. I run the No Fallen Heroes Foundation, which is a 501c3 dedicated to saving the lives of our veterans, first responders, and their families. We just got back from a week in Costa Rica, where the first 2 female fighter pilot veterans sat with the medicine. So that is my mission, and another reason why I'm so passionate about spending a shitload of money, whether it's on fighting a war on the other side of the universe or other side of the globe, or bailing out Silicon Valley, entrepreneurs. It breaks my heart. 22 to 44 veterans kill themselves every day, and I'm going to try and bring that number down to 0. You can check out nofallenheroesfoundation.org. Okay, let's go ahead and get airborne with what we want to talk about. That's a $65 million inanimate object, ladies and gentlemen. That jet right there. Can you guys hear me? Everybody, give me a vertical head nod or a thumbs up that you guys can hear me. Sometimes after you get done playing a video, okay, cool, awesome, thank you. Inanimate object, folks, but in the hands of a trained fighter pilot, folks, it's a lethal weapon, folks. An inanimate object versus a lethal weapon. I'm going to show you in your hands how you're going to be a lethal weapon with the Full Throttle training program. Like I said, folks, not the sharpest tool in the shed. Political science major, South Jersey. Training gives you a skill. Fighter pilots are trained. Doctors are trained. Plumbers are trained. I am not going to give you financial education. You can go somewhere else to get quote unquote. Matter of fact, the world is full of educated derelicts. Training gives you a skill, and I'm going to train you. So how do we target profits in a hostile environment? Now we're going to get into what a Tredge is. A trade makes money, a hedge loses money. In theory, but when you put those together as a Reese's peanut butter cup, it's going to make a shit pot of money. Train, fight, win. This is not hard at all, right? Take notes now, folks. Train, fight, win. TFW. How do we train? The first thing we're going to do in our Top Guns methodology, I'm going to train you. Here's what we do. Our Top Gun options training is basic. SOT. Strategic, operational, tactical. What do I mean by that, folks? The 270 traders in this room, no offense to most of you in here, if you're not a current TGO member, you are very tactical. You don't even know what you're doing for lunch, let alone what you should be trading this week, next month, or 2 years out into the future. Very, very tactical. If you logged into this brief today and you're getting antsy, kind of smoking your lucky strike, going, where are the trades, I'm talking to you. How can you trade like that? You can't trade like that. You burn out or you lose all your money. How do you trade, Wiz? I'm going to tell you. SOT. Strategic, I kind of gave you a little bit of a strategic rant for 18 minutes, but when I start these live trade briefs, as you'll see tomorrow and Wednesday, I might throw on an extra one on Thursday, depending on how I'm feeling and how the market's going. Why? Because I love opening up the doors and you seeing everything, good and bad. Hopefully it's all good, but all the trades and everything that I'm doing here. So I might be in a good mood this week. But in these briefs, I give you a 10, 15-minute brief about what's going on where? Around the globe, folks. What's going around the globe economically, politically, militarily? Whether it's the Greek debt crisis, the Brexit, Russia invading Ukraine, a nuclear strike by Israel on Iran, an invasion of Taiwan by China. Folks, you got to know what's going on around the globe. Then I'm going to peel the onion layer back a little bit, and we're going to get operational and look at where? Here, the United States of America. What's going on domestically, politically, economically? What's the Fed doing? How are earnings looking? What's going on with bank failures? Everything. Another 10 to 15 minutes. And then, ladies and gentlemen, and only then can you get what? Tactical and trade. If you're not doing SOT and or SO and you're just teeing, you're either broke or you're antsy and you're freaking out right now. Not me. SOT gives you discipline, risk management, and superior execution. I'm going to train you to look at three things, but the fourth is going to help. Fundamentals. I'm not kidding you, where at the height of COVID, I went over to my bookshelf that used to be packed with books on trading and this and that markets. 99.9% of my books gone. They're in the recycling bin. Why? Because it's bullshit. You heard me rant for 18 minutes. It's bullshit. Fundamentals really don't matter, Wiz, when the government keeps getting involved. Precisely. However, we still have to care about fundamentals, because here's a Wizism for you. The market only cares when it cares. Right now, the market might not be caring about fundamentals. They will. The market only cares when it cares. We also got to take a look at volatility. What did I tell my members over the past month and a half-ish? Like, the hair on the back of my neck standing up. Volatility down here at 18. The VIX at 18 or 20 makes no sense. What did we do? We got long volatility. Also, technical analysis. I'm not super massively big on technical analysis. I'll give you my poor man's TA, or technical analysis, because no broker that I know lets you trade off the left side of a chart. I love all these technicians drawing shit over here on the left. I'm like, what's the right, dude? That's where we make money. The left can kind of maybe help out a little bit, but nobody lets you trade off the left side of a chart. Okay? So, and then obviously, you need to be trained. I'm going to give you 8 training briefs. If you're sitting here going, dude, I have no idea what the stock market is, or an option, or a put, or a call, that's why you're here. I didn't hatch an options trader, folks. I just was hatched an awesome fighter pilot. I became an awesome options trader, and very humble. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go look at the markets. Here we go. Let's go look at building a Tredge together. So, and I think I already got filled on it because I placed it as soon as the market opened. And we're going to talk about how you can join. Well, today, hopefully, you're going to get into one of our investment clubs. So let's go ahead. Oh, I didn't get filled on the bear call spread. Well, let's do this together. So here's what we're going to do. Let's take a look at this chart, folks. So there's the S&P 500 right now. Okay. And there, out here, is what? A lot of white. This is where you make money. You don't make money here, folks. This is why the technical analysis stuff, sometimes I kind of laugh. This, folks, I said last week, we probably see 3,800. I don't know if we did a little drill bit down to 3,800 here, but we might get a little bit of a technical bounce back up here to 3,900. Okay? Oops, sorry. Hang on. Right here. So implosion, little bit of a bounce off 3,800, little oversold right now. I think we get a bounce up here to about 3,900. Because look at what these violent things do. We get these violent implosions. Selling gets exhausted. We get a bounce, and then it continues. Strategically, ladies and gentlemen, the next 4, 5, 6 months are going to suck. What is supposed to happen in June? Say it with me. Debt ceiling. Did you see I don't even know how many trillion it was. Did you see Joe Biden's budget last week? From Build Back Broke to whatever all the COVID, they can't stop fucking spending money we don't have. We can't stop. Now, the Republicans, to their credit, the party that's out of power, it's funny, even Democrats, when they're not in power, they all of a sudden become fiscal hawks. When Trump was in charge, they're like, we're not raising the debt ceiling. And then, of course, when Republicans are in office, they're like, you have to do it or we're going to default. They're both cowards. So what has Speaker McCarthy said to Joe Biden? Don't make me do it. I'll shut this government down. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for a government shutdown, or at least what? The threat of it. Now, Speaker McCarthy's doing a pretty damn good job at being a politician. Why? He's doing what? Because every time the Democrats do a great job with the liberal media of what? Tarring the Republicans. You're not going to get paid your Social Security checks, and the military won't get paid. McCarthy right out of the gate. We've already put shit in there that's going to pay all of that. We're talking about all the big liberal stuff that's just disgustingly wastes of money. That we're going to fight on. Doesn't matter. They're still going to show the commercials of Republicans pushing old people off the cliff in wheelchairs. Remember those commercials? Let's put all that aside. Here's what I'm getting at. I'm kind of rambling through my commit criteria of a bearish trade all the way out a couple months. Janet Yellen, we already hit it, folks. Back here, Janet Yellen, our Treasury Secretary, who was also an arsonist, who's now a firefighter. Janet Yellen was the Federal Reserve Chairwoman. When she got done being the Federal Reserve Chairwoman, she made $7 million on Wall Street giving keynote speeches. I'm a fucking awesome keynote speaker, and she makes $7 million bucks. Anyway, as the Treasury Secretary a month ago, she said, we're already bankrupt. I am using, quote unquote, what? Extraordinary measures to fund the government. They run out of the extraordinary measures out here. The Republicans are at least going to take us to the edge, if not a full-blown government shutdown. What's going to happen? At a minimum, ladies and gentlemen, let's go over to look at what? Our altimeter. Let's look at the VIX, the volatility index. Let's take a look at the VIX, and it is a heart rate monitor. The VIX at 28, folks. What did we do weeks ago, folks? We got long. What were the calls we got long? The 35s or something, whatever they were up here, folks. It's not in, I forget which portfolio that's in. We got some VIX calls that are printing money. Look at this. The VIX is a heart rate monitor, folks. Let's go back to COVID. We're all going to die. No, we're not. Yeah, we are. No, we're not. Okay, if something bad happened, it's gone. Folks, look at this. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So when, not if, the Republicans take us close to a government shutdown, what's going to happen? You will see volatility spike. There's a free trade right there. I made 22 grand off the Brexit vote, and I got it wrong. I love making money and being wrong. I thought they'd vote to stay. Little did I forgot that Barack Hussein Obama went over to Great Britain before the vote and kind of did the whole, you all better stay because I don't have time left in my administration to do a trade deal with you. And Brits are like, did he just come to our country and order us to do something? They did the exact opposite. They voted to leave. I made 22 grand. We made 11 grand as the VIX went up and 11 grand as it went down. So you want to join TGO for the debt ceiling showdown because that's going to be free. That will literally be free money. We'll be sitting here eating popcorn, watching the theatrics on TV as we're making money. So between now and June, folks, not only do I think the VIX is going to explode because of the debt ceiling fight, I absolutely believe this is going to happen. Maybe back down here to these October lows. Let's go. Let me look at this chart. This one's a little better looking. Okay, right here. SPX. October lows are 35.50. I mean, this is 35.50 is definitely a target. So let's build a trade together right now. If you are listening to me and you're like, and let me clear this up again real quick. If you think the exact opposite of everything that I'm saying, do the exact opposite of the trades that I do. Literally just flip the legs. I'll show you. I'm not going to show you how to do that. Just do it. But if the majority of you are sitting here going, I'm liking what you're laying down with, if you don't think this is going to happen, if you don't think the market is going to go up between now and let's just say June, we can do a tactic called a bear call spread. I'm bearish, thinking things are going to go down or not go up. I'm going to use calls, and it'll be a spread. I'll show you in a second. But we're going to build a really cool trade together called a Tredge. If you don't think something is going to go up, what can you also believe at the same time? Well, Wiz, I don't think that's going to happen. As a matter of fact, I think that's going to happen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we could put a ceiling up here, right? The bear call spread. And I'm going to show you how that's going to bring in money. That tactic I'm going to show you right now is called a credit spread. A bear call spread brings in money. Well, why don't we take that money and buy what's going to be called a bear put spread, which is a debit spread. It costs money. I'm going to try and build a trade that you don't come out of pocket at all and potentially see massive profits if this happens. Okay? Now, I'm also going to show you that before we even place a trade, we're going to know when we're getting out, either for max profit or minimum loss. Okay? So let's build it together. Let me look at the chart real quick. What did we pop out of? Let's go back to here. 40, I like this. So 40, 50 right here. You see the resistance right there? You see the chop right there? It was resistance there, and it was resistance there. I like 40, 50 as our ceiling. Okay? Between now and I'm going to go June. So April, May, June. About 3 months. I'm doing a 3-month trade here, folks. So 3 months. And again, this is a Tredge because I'll show you tomorrow or Wednesday or the rest of the week that I got long-term bullish Amazon. I got some psychedelics. We're going to talk about all this stuff this week. Make sure you watch the replays if you can attend because this is a chock week full of good stuff. So 40-50 is going to be our ceiling. So let's go build this trade. We're going to fly in our time machine out to June. Okay? Oh, I already have it up here. It's only 95 days away, folks. I can't believe it's the middle of March, for God's sake. But what did I say, 40-50? So I'm going to sell the 40-50 calls. If you're new to options and you're sitting here going, I have no idea what the hell just happened, I am going to train you. When I sell these June 40-50 calls, that's me saying, hey, man, SPX ain't going to, the S&P 500 will not be above 40-50 by the middle of June. Wiz, what if you're wrong, man? That happens occasionally. Let's buy some upside calls. If the market decides to bottle rocket and go through my 40-50 strike, let's at least have some protection on top of us. Okay? Let's throw, 3 contracts in here for now. Actually, 4. All right, I'm going to do 4 contracts. Sell 4 of the June 23 40-50 calls. Okay? Buy, as an upside hedge, the 40-75 calls. Let's talk about the bad rate here. What's 1055? 1055 times 2. 2110. Ladies and gentlemen, I haven't even placed this trade, and I know where I might get out of the trade. Let's use political science math. All I do, ladies and gentlemen, is double this credit. If I get filled at $11, I would think about ejecting or getting out of this trade if it increases in value to 22. That means the S&P 500 is climbing for whatever reason, and I am wrong. I do not want to take a max loss in this trade, so I would consider ejecting from this trade at 22. Folks, I didn't even get into this trade yet, and I'm telling you when I'd get out. Ladies and gentlemen, guess what? This is how you fight in combat. I don't decide what I'm going to do if I get shot at by a missile over Afghanistan. When I get shot at by a missile over Afghanistan, folks, I make that decision sitting in the air conditioning. So if or when that happens, things start happening, I already thought through it. Discipline, risk management, superior execution. Now, I'm going to click on this analyze tool right here, and you're going to look at one place and one place only. A sad face. You ready? 3, 2, 1, sad face. Max potential loss. Right there. Wiz, why'd you force me to do that? Do not ever look up here first. Wiz, I want to make $4,200 in the next couple months. Well, duh. So do I. Are you prepared to risk $4,700? No. Then why would you look here first? Ladies and gentlemen, as you, not me, you are the pilot in command of your portfolio. You got to look here first. Based on 4 contracts, I'm risking $5,700. I'm going to put a check mark right there because this model portfolio is based on $100,000, right? It's up to you. 10%, 5%. What is your SOP? I don't want to risk more than 5% of my model portfolio on any one trade. Well, Wiz, I got a 50 grand portfolio. Okay, well, maybe yours is 10%. I can't tell you what your SOP is. I will show you what mine is as you learn here at Top Gun Options. But you have got to put a check mark there. If that's too little or too much, you change the amount of contracts. Okay? All right. Now you can look up here and go, wow, using at-the-money volatility in these options, there's a 67% probability of making $4,300. Okay, I'm going to write that down. 47, remember, 4,300. And I'm going to take a screenshot of this because I'm going to show you that I send out text and email alerts. Okay? Whoa. Stop moving. And obviously, the market's moving all over the place, so this is getting a little jumpy here. But I'm going to take a screenshot. Okay. File, save as. All right, SPX, today's date, 3/13. So I send out text and email alerts that you're going to see in a couple minutes right here. All right. So let me grab a screenshot of the risk in 55 to make 45. Okay. Now, I already fired this one this morning, and I posted this, SPX 313 metric. So I already sent this out to the Lifetime folks and to the hunters. All right. Now let's go look. So we just made that credit spread, right? 3,700. Let's go back to here. 3,700. So 3,750-ish. A little bit of a almost drill bit down here. There you go. There you go. Resistance, little chop here. I like between now and June, I think we're below this. Okay. So why don't we just brought in $4,300 from that credit spread, that bear call spread, $4,300. Let's use that money to buy what is going to be called a bear put spread underneath it. 3,700 or 37 buy. So we want to buy. And again, I'm going to train you how to do all this stuff in our briefs. I'm going to buy the 3,750 puts and sell the lower strike put, the 3,700. Or was I doing 25 wide? I think I did 25 right. 3,750, 3,725. 3,725 right there. Okay. How many? I think I did 4 contracts in the other one. 4 and 4. Let's do this. I can actually do a lot more than that. So maybe one less. Let's see. Yep. Okay. So, man, the S&P is really flopping around all over the place. No, we can do 6. All right. So you ready for this? Buy 7. Now, this is a bearish spread. This is a bear put spread. It's also called a debit spread. We have to pay for this one, but we just brought in about $4,300. This one we're coming out of pocket about $4,700. So net, what's that? $400 coming out of pocket. Buy 7 of that same expiration out to June, 3,750 puts, and sell the lower strike put. Okay. Let me grab a screenshot of this. And again, folks, I'm going to train you how to do this. In the live trade briefs, I'm usually cruising, right? Why? Because you're already trained, okay? So I'm kind of taking a little bit of my time because I know I got new folks in here, but going a little quick because I know once you join, and I'll show you how to join here in a couple minutes, you're going to get access to the training. You can go sit on the couch for an hour and watch the bear put spread lecture and get super up to speed. Bear put spread metric 313. Okay. So there you go. I sent those out this morning. You can see on my order page. I can cancel these. So I got filled on the bear call spread, the 40-50, 40-75, and the bear put spread. So I have a Tredge out to June right now. It's a little red right now because I got filled. And look, the market turned around a little bit. But guess what? It ain't going to be turned around. We can day trade all day long, these type of intraday swings, but everything that happened over the weekend does not bode well. There is a Fed meeting this week, folks, where Goldman Sachs is believing that Jerome Powell ain't going to do anything now. And last week, Goldman Sachs, the same smart money, was telling you 50 basis points or maybe even 75. Oh, no, now he's going to be too freaked out. So let me get this straight. He doesn't want to freak out banks, but he said last week that Americans are burning to death from inflation, and he is not going to be deterred in doing his job. So if Jerome Powell jumps in this week with 50, the market ain't going to dig. Well, I'm not going to keep rambling through what's going on, what is going to happen the rest of the week, because guess what? We have live trade briefs. All right, so fight, train. I just showed you how we train. Now let me show you how we fight. You got to manage risk. And I just showed you how we're managing risk. No more than 5 or 10%, up to you, of your model portfolio. Let me ask you all a question. When did this CF-18, when did this Canadian F-18 pilot make the decision to eject from this aircraft? You don't even have to type it. I'm going to tell you. This Canadian F-18 pilot made the decision to eject out of that aircraft in the brief. Not when his engine failed at an air show practice. He made the decision to eject out of that aircraft in the brief. Sipping on his venti upside down caramel macchiato in the air conditioning. He sat there and said, you know what? If I am at high alpha, low altitude, low airspeed, and I lose a motor, I got to get out of the airplane. They actually did the math. If he had waited a half a blink of an eye, he would have ejected into the dirt, and he'd be dead. We make these decisions, ladies and gentlemen, in the brief. Who needs to manage risk? You do, folks. You need to manage the risk. You are the pilot in command. And SOP, our standard operating procedures, ladies and gentlemen, are written in blood. Why? Because people have done stupid things. Don't do stupid things. Stand on the shoulders of guys and gals at TGO, and we will share our SOP with you. Risk management in your trading. The first question you have to ask is not, how much money can I make in this trade? It's, how much can I lose? What's the first rule of investing? What's the first rule of investing? If you're about to type to make money, I want you to choke yourself. The first rule of investing is not to lose money. You can't make money if you're losing money. That might sound brilliantly stupid. It's the truth. The second rule, see the first rule. We want to make money consistently, ladies and gentlemen, not swinging for the fence. We want solid base hits. So for that credit spread that I just showed you, the bear call spread, for example, let's say it's a 50 grand portfolio and you don't want to risk more than 10%. That's $5,000. I don't know how big your portfolio is. I'm not a registered investment advisor. I'm not a broker dealer. I'm not giving you individual investment advice. You can go sit with one of those folks at lunch and they can map that out for you. You have to figure that out. You have got to manage risk. Okay? Train, fight. How do we win? Ladies and gentlemen, we want to exit for max profit or exit for what? Minimum loss. I already told you where we'd eject. Double the credit you took in on that credit spread. How about profit? Folks, in that credit spread, that bear call spread, 7, 8, 9. If you're looking at a 70, 80, 90% profit on that credit you took in, the $4,300, close it. No one has gone broke taking a profit. We already talked about the ejection. Double the credit you took in, that's where I'd maybe eject. Okay? Before we even place the trade, we know when we're leaving. Do you understand that? It's my Colin Powell rule, right? George Bush, dad. General Powell, Get Iraq out of Kuwait. Yes, sir. Wait, hold on, Mr. President. Before you leave the room, when are we leaving? What does victory look like? I'm a Vietnam officer, folks. We ain't going into war and not knowing when we're leaving. The failure of Afghanistan. Joe Biden. We're leaving in the middle of the night. We're not even going to tell our allies. Unbelievable. Do not turn a 70, 80, 90% winning trade into a 100% loser. Pigs, ladies and gentlemen, get slaughtered. Don't sit there looking at a 90% profit in a trade and go, you know what? I won 100% max profit. That's the day. Whatever happens, and you get blown out. I guarantee you it's going to happen. Pigs get slaughtered. Go on, take the money, and run. I guarantee you something bad will happen if you don't fly the SOP, the standard operating procedure. All right. Essentially on time. Now we're going to get airborne. There's trading questions in here. Again, this is why I take 50. I don't want to zoo. I will answer your trading questions, but for all the folks that are like, how do I join? Let me do this stuff first, okay? Appreciate all the trading questions, but let's get airborne. Or I'm going to show you how to at least get airborne. I'm not going to show you 1,000 case studies, folks. You can go on Trustpilot. I think there's 88 reviews now, like a 4.9 rating. Facebook 4.9, 115 reviews. Don't listen to me. Listen to other folks. Hell, the Max Afterburner podcast has 82 reviews out of 5.0. Go read other people's stuff, not mine. Just a handful of them, real quick. Dennis, FYI, $6,200 yesterday, dogfighting the S&P 500 for a total of $22,000 in the past 3 trading days. Bob, I've had several investment advisors over the years. None of them have paid much attention to my account. Much better off following Wiz and learning slowly on my own. If you had, so Robert was keeping track of my trades over in one of our investment clubs, the Max Afterburner. He kept track of them for like a year and a half. If you had done all the trades that I had posted in there in a year and a half, you made $791,000. $791,000 in 17 months. I'm going to let that sink in. Started with Wiz over 4 years ago and have made over $450,000 in that time. Haven't said it in a while, but thanks, Wiz. Tony, paper trading. He's in the simulator building. $100,000 in fake money. Set up in Jan is now at 267. Quentin, Wiz, just joined 12 days ago with a small account. I'm up $6,000 already. So proud to have joined your squadron. Christine, trading Amazon. I took $2,000 account to 60 in 3 weeks on a single contract. Mark, see you at 10. Very happy to be here. Thank you for your honesty. I will not always agree with you, but never for one moment do I doubt your sincerity or your love of our great country and your deep desire to see your clients kick ass. How's the smart money doing, folks? Well, the smart money was wanking over the weekend that you need to bail them out. That's how the smart money's doing. It's a disgrace. That's how the smart money's doing, folks. How we doing? Our primary portfolio, I took these yesterday. They're close to being current. Over $39,000 in profit in 2.5 months in the primary portfolio. Trading the hell out of the S&P 500. A little Goldman Sachs, a little Amazon, a little VIX. Weekly options, sniper shots, about 19.5. AR, accelerated retirement. This is supposed to be our conservative portfolio, and it's up over $41,000, folks. Using cocktail napkin math, I think that's $100,000, close to $100,000 in 2.5 months. On limited risk. The smart money, they're begging for bailouts. Got all the trades. We can download them. They're all posted in Excel sheets. They're posted on our homepage. Everything's verifiable, folks. I took this screenshot yesterday, 312 at 144 when I was getting my slides together. Lose some battles. Losing trades happen. Period. End of story. If you ever come to one of these briefs and the lady or the dude's like, we're awesome, 100% win rate, we never have losing, hit the X at the top right and leave. A fool and their money are soon parted. Losing trades happen, folks. Donald Rumsfeld. There are known knowns, there are known unknowns, and there are unknown unknowns. I got blown out of a Google trade one time because they renamed it Alphabet, and I laughed. You laughed at losing $5,000? Yeah, I did, because I didn't know they were going to change the name from Google to Alphabet and the stock would pop. Losing trades happen. Thankfully, at Top Gun Options, they happen a hell of a lot less than the winning trades. If you had started with me 10 years ago, folks, you ready for this? Close to 6. Allow me to round up. 6. Steve Austin. That's how old I am. And probably everybody in this room remembers Steve Austin, the $6 million man, close to a 70% annualized return. How's the smart money doing? You can start with as little as $5,000, folks. I think even E-Trade, you can open a brokerage account with $1,000. I can't tell you what to start with. We have a couple billionaires here. We got millionaires. We got people trading $1,000 to $5,000. You can start with any dollar amount, folks, but obviously we tell you to start what? Paper trading first. Let's just think real quick. What would you do with $5 million? I mean, well, I kind of know what I'm doing. Ladies and gentlemen, there is the first 2 female fighter pilots to sit with the medicine to heal. And then Smurf, Navy F-18 pilot who ejected at 695 miles per hour. These folks just went to Costa Rica with our director of medicine operations and my beautiful bride, a military spouse who unfortunately needs healing because she's married to me. That's what I do with the vast majority of my money, folks, goes over the fence into our foundation. Unlike some foundations in this space where the people who run it take a salary, put their house in it, and have their cars in their foundation, it's a net drain to the Buckley family. Separate conversation, but I did, as a result of the COVID crash, I will be absolutely full of ego right here. I bought a couple fighter jets. That's what I did with $5 million. What do I use these for? To take you flying. If you become a lifetime member here at Top Gun Options and you're ever in South Florida and you're physically capable of getting in the aircraft and no heart problems, not pregnant, roller coaster disclaimer, I'll take you flying in the fighter jet. All right, let's go. What do you need to trade successfully, folks? Solid training. You're going to get 8 training sessions that take a building block approach, a tight plan. I'm going to give you a trade plan. We execute to a trade plan and a practical application. You can't just sit in a lecture about a bull call spread and then go, all right, now what? You need actionable trade ideas. Pretty ballsy, Wiz. How do you know what I need to trade successfully? I've been you, folks. I was a little retail trader. I had those now what moments. I started trading before Al Gore invented the internet. I used to have to dial on the phone to get stock quotes. I built this for me, folks. I rose from a self-taught retail trader to help run a multi-billion-dollar Wall Street firm, folks. I've been you. I built this for you. So here's what you're going to get access to today. Live trading, primary, intermediate, and advanced live trade briefs. The primary, weekly options, and accelerated retirement. Tuesday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. That's about 1997, folks. Primary, we trade the front months. Weekly, we're trading either daily options or weekly options. AR, we're trying to do longer dated trades, but to be honest with you, you can't in this environment. We might all be dead from a nuclear explosion between now and June. So AR, it's funny because I'm having to be more tactical in AR, and it's our best portfolio year to date. So you're going to get access to these 3 skill-based live trade briefs. Okay? So nearly, hey, Wiz, I kind of work during those times. Well, guess what, folks? 80% of our traders work. You don't have to be here live. I'm going to send, you don't have to hang out for this when I get done in a couple minutes. You can leave, but I'm going to send out a text and email alert to the folks that weren't in this brief. And everything's recorded. Everything's recorded. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes for the replay to render, and then I will post it on the replay page. And I will let me give you the replay page, FT replay. Remind, especially if you're not going to be here for the rest of the briefs. There's a screenshot of a text alert. I'm going to send it out right now via text and email. If you're not a member, you're not going to get it. No offense, sending a text and email alert out to thousands of people who registered is not cheap. So you got to be a member. Here's your training, valued at $897, folks. It is a building block approach. You get access to this today. When you become a member in about 3 minutes, start your training. Period. In these live trade briefs, I prefer not to do what I did today and kind of do a lot of training. I like to brief my intelligence, strategic operation. We get tactical. We're doing trades. We're out. This, you got to put some work in, the folks. So here's what you're going to get access to today. 24/7 access to my trades in the Hunters. I'm going to show you what the Hunters is in a couple seconds. It's our self-directed investment squadron. Okay? You get everything from me immediately. You don't have to wait for the text and email alert. You can get into the Hunters today, and I'm going to show you. You get my intel, you get my opening and closing trades immediately. If you do the regular monthly full throttle, you'll get the texts and emails. It's a little cheaper, but you can get it. 3 skill-based live trade briefs that I just told you about. The 8 training sessions are manuals, the trade plans, everything, folks. This is a massive offering, and it ain't expensive at all. Here's where you need to go, and let me give you this link. go.topgunoptions.com/FT-Hunters. Now, let me go give you this page. Okay. Go.topgunoptions.com/FT-Hunters. Here we go. Only 50, folks. Again, don't take a ton of people because I don't want a ton of people. We don't need a ton of people. Okay. So let me explain the difference between these two. Okay. Let's ignore the middle one here for a little bit, and then I'll brief you on that. If you like everything I just talked about, it's only $295 a month. I just showed you at the beginning of this brief, I closed a trade on Friday for $12,000 in profit in a week. I think it was $4 or $5 grand in risk. I essentially paid for a lifetime membership with just one trade from last week. I think total in our Tredges last week, that trade was 12. There was some S&P 5, whatever. I'm rambling. What am I getting at? Folks, if I'm not doing one trade a month for $295, my head fell off. So if you want to test fly what we do here at Top Gun Options, it's only $295 a month. Okay? That's your gateway drug to come check out Top Gun Options. Nope, solo Amazon is not part of any of this full throttle. We'll talk solo Amazon on Thursday or something like that. But no, it's the primary, intermediate, and advanced. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Now, if you want access to the Hunters, it is a self-directed investment club. There's 56 folks in here right now. This is what it looks like to me on the member. Let me show you what it looks like on the member page. Hunters SDIS. SDIS stands for Self-Directed Investment Squadron. I'm logged into the instructor panel. Sorry. All right, then I'll show you what the instructor panel looks like. I can't be logged into both. So, ladies and gentlemen, I post everything in here as soon as it happens. And your fellow members are in here. Gabriel, Brian, Jim, Kid. People are in here. You interact. This is live. This is 24/7. This is awesome. When did I start this? At the COVID crash. When people are like, Wiz, what are you doing outside the trade briefs? I'm like, that's a good idea. Legally, we had to start investment clubs. Because I'm not giving investment advice in here, and I'm not giving investment advice in the training environment either. But still, this was a nice legal protection, which is we're all in here. So if you want access to the investment club and all that full throttle stuff, it's right here. $29.95 for a year. And again, if some of these trades I'm throwing around, folks will make $29.95 in a single trade. They can lose money. Always can lose money, folks. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. You get it. But, folks, I just showed you. Men lie, numbers don't. It's only $29.95, and that is a 50% discount off what the retail is. I think this is the primary portfolio. Let's go take a look at this. Year to date, folks, this is up 38 grand. Okay, so $29.95 for 1 month. For a year is insane. I could charge $29.95 per month. So I'd say anecdotally, folks, about 80-ish to 90% of our current members are in here. They're doing a full throttle annual. Okay? So left side over here is kind of shrimp or a vehicle for eating cocktail sauce. This is a vehicle for eating TGO. This gets you into the investment club too. What if you just want to try out a little full throttle and try out the investment club? That's the middle one. Okay, that's going to be the $497 a month. You're getting the practical application of the investment club, and you're getting the full throttle stuff. Okay? Now, as Gordon Gekko, I would love for you to be in this one for the rest of your life. That's not me. That's Gordon Gekko. Wiz is going to tell you, if you're going to do that, do this for a couple months and then email us and go, hey, I'm ready to upgrade and save money. This is what it used to be, folks. I did some medicine, got my mind right, my soul right. It ain't about the, I love putting the ladder down. I got a mortgage, but I love putting the ladder down, folks. I'm not a charity. I run a charity. So I said, you know what? Let me give people even more access to stuff at a less price. You can thank the medicine for that. So does everybody understand that? That's a pretty good brief. Just ask me about the services, okay? So go.topgunoptions.com/FT-hunters. And I'm going to get ready to answer your trading questions here, okay? Trading in combat or complex, folks. How do we battle complexity? Simplicity. This is simple, folks. You're at decision range, man. You got to make a decision right now. You can hang out for the rest of the week in the free briefs, but you got to decide. Today was kind of me unzipping my fly and showing you everything, man. Decide now, okay? Because if I get 50 before Thursday or Wednesday, the doors close. I'll still do the briefs, but you can't join. Don't be the 51st person. I love dealing with the emails from customer support. The 51st person from the last quarter is usually the first person in Top Gun Options the next time. We only take 50, folks. I guarantee you. Wiz, I've had many other subscriptions, Raging Bull Guys, Money Map Press, Tim Sykes, Jack Clark, many others. None of them worked as hard as you, and none delivered results like you. I wish I had known about you years ago. Look forward to the future months. Top of the line. I've been with TGO for almost 4 months now, and while still green, I can say wholeheartedly this group is second to none. Wiz brings decades of options and trading experience to the table. Couple that with his no BS approach, in-depth training, and amazing support structure, and you get a solid recipe for success. As Wiz says, trading is combat. There's a winner and a loser. Everyone at TGO plans to be a winner. Small account alert. $8,000 in the past 2 weeks trading 2 to 3 contracts. Folks should feel good when they are doing well. Don't worry about others making 30, 50, 100 in the same time frame. You are having success. Go with it. As the account grows, so will your ability to buy more contracts in the future. I love these. You literally saved my portfolio from blowing out completely. Isn't that awesome? I'm a lifetime member now, and I look forward to many years of learning and investing with you. Go.topgunoptions.com/FT. That stands for Full Throttle Hunters. All right. Let me clean up and answer questions. Let me give you the replay page first. Go topgunoptions.com, FT replay. Here will be the replay page, okay? When this brief is done, give me 20, 30 minutes. I'm going to stretch my legs, and I'm going to render the recording. All the replays will be on this page. Let me click paste. Click on that in the chat box and bookmark this. This is where all the replays from this week will be posted. These are old replays from February or January or something like that. Okay, so, but everything will be on here. All right, let me scroll up. Somebody asked, thank you, I appreciate that. Arthur, Wiz is the sharpest tool in the box. He's being honest. The most impressive thing, Wiz, is high capacity to predict the market, select options trades. Let me, understand the market. Thank you. Mark, if you go to YouTube, you can search on YouTube, No Fallen Heroes, and our trailers are all up on there. Bevan, no, I don't close both trades. That's a great question. So in that bearish, in that Tredge, I'm going to train you how to manage that Tredge. If the market starts moving violently down, I would close the bear put spread first because it's a debit spread and doesn't like what we call theta or time decay. The bear call spread is a credit spread. It loves theta. It loves time decay. So I'd let that one ride, and I'd close the debit spread first. I will teach you that in your training. That's a very good question. Daryl, Wiz, just for your info, I joined your lifetime 2 months ago. I'm a 70-year-old retired contractor who made money in crypto and got out, then came here. I started a paper account with 200 grand. And with your help, it is up to 309 this morning. I will be secure for the rest of my life. Thank you. I am Daryl. I am grabbing that as a testimonial. And folks, I don't ask for these. Everything that's in this chat box right now is thank you. And I'm not going to read more of those, but I am going to take that one. So I love getting these because they are from you all. Yeah, hang on one second. I'll give you the link again. Case studies, Daryl. Thank you. I appreciate that. Folks, well, I appreciate that because I'm very passionate about this. I'm very passionate about what I do, and I like helping people. I love, you know what? Let me be clear, folks. I don't want you to be here forever. No offense. I want you in 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever it is, to say, Wiz, folks, you don't go to Top Gun forever. You go, you get that patch if you graduate, you get that patch on your shoulder, you go back to the fleet. The best thing that happens to me at Top Gun Options is when I get an email from somebody like, Wiz, I'm good. I'm good. My membership, just send me my Top Gun Options patch and I'm going out to the fleet. I know what I'm doing now. Now, thankfully, a lot of people hang out because they love the briefs and the camaraderie and all that type of stuff. But folks, my metric of success is you not being here forever. Now, there are people who have been here for 13 years, but they love the trade ideas, the camaraderie and stuff like that. But don't get me wrong. There's a good amount of people that are like, dude, I got it. Thank you for this. Because I know they are going to be the best salespeople I have. Okay? All right. A couple more questions. Yeah, don't forget, we do have the rest of the week, folks. This was kind of a welcome aboard brief and kind of a high level. I'm not going to, the rest of the week, you don't get 18 minutes of this is me, Wiz, and all that shit. You know who I am now, and you don't need to hear that anymore. Steve, yeah, I'll show you the trades. Absolutely. Daryl, you are right. My son is the next one up after I am trained. Good for you. I appreciate that. Sorry to clarify. If the trade is going against you and you've reached 2 times the credit on the credit spread, do you close both sides of the trade? No. Well, listen to me, Bevan. If the credit spread is going against you, then the debit spread is as well. Listen to me. If you listened very closely, or let me put the trades up in the background so you see what they are, the people who are asking what the strikes were. Here, let me get rid of. So listen to me very closely. Open filled. I used a very important word in front of eject. Did anybody hear the very important word that I used in front of the word eject? Maybe. Why did I use the word maybe? Because, ladies and gentlemen, there's a distinct possibility between now and June that what happens? There would be a lot of time between this and this. So, folks, I said maybe eject. I think I led this brief by saying I think we're going to get a short-term technical bounce. Don't, as a man of 54 years old, I can say this, don't prematurely eject. I use the word maybe because you have got to be the pilot in command. If that trade hits double the credit that you took in, you got to look around, man, and see what's going on. Trading's combat. We made these decisions sitting here in the air conditioning. When or if it hits the eject point, it might be just a quick technical bounce. Breaking news, rumor that Vladimir Putin has been executed and peace talks in Ukraine. Rip your face off rally in the market. Oh my God, it's double the credit. I'm going to eject. You eject. Breaking news, that was fake. Not only is he alive, he just launched a nuke against Kyiv, and Eastern Europe has been disintegrated, and the market's at zero. So, this is why you have the live trade briefs as well, because we will be talking about these things during the lifetime of the trade. But a trade plan is something to deviate from. At least in the brief, we put our profit target and our eject target. During the life of the trade, we call it mid-course guidance. We got to update some stuff. So that's a very good question. I love the way you asked that, but this is why we're here for the live trade briefs, okay? Yep, it's right here. And folks, my phone is buzzing, which means there are people joining. 50 is it. And based on the amount of buzzes, it ain't 50 anymore. So you need to get airborne as soon as possible. And I love the people that get in immediately because they know I'm not kidding. They're usually the people who didn't get in the last time we did this. Okay? All right, folks. We have a great week ahead, Tuesday, Wednesday. Maybe I'll add on a Thursday just because I'm a nice guy. I'm a fun guy. I'm a mushroom, and I love helping people. This is going to be a very interesting week of trading with what the Fed's going to do. We also, look at this, folks. We'll talk about this tomorrow, but we get inflation numbers tomorrow. What if inflation is raging tomorrow in these numbers? You think Jerome Powell's listening to Goldman Sachs a week ago? He's going to raise 0.5 point over the weekend. He's not going to raise anything because of this stupidity. Raging inflation numbers tomorrow. You think Jerome Powell's not going to do anything? I love this stuff, folks. Get ready to dogfight this market. Do not trade this market solo. You're going to get destroyed. If you do the full throttle annual membership right now, the $29.95, or you do the monthly at $4.97 to try it for a couple months, you will get immediate access into the hunters where I'm going to, as soon as I get done, thank you, good night, try the veal, I'm going to be in here trading. Actually, no, I'm not. I got to go over here and send out a text and email alert. So that's exactly what I need to do. Sorry about that. For the folks who weren't here, I'm going to send out the text and email alert right now. I'm going to close the brief because you don't need to sit here and watch me send out a text and email alert because it takes about 10 minutes and it's rather boring. So, all right, good stuff. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. Fights on. Namaste. Basi, Basi, which means truth in Bawiti. And I am going to see you all tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Okay? Good? Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If you get a chance, listen to, this is my Costa Rica debrief. My last podcast from Thursday is my initial Costa Rica debrief. And then my beautiful bride, Susie, was on my podcast on Friday, and the podcast drops tomorrow. So episode 55 that comes out tomorrow will be my beautiful bride talking about her medicine experience. Okay. So make sure you catch up on your Max Afterburner podcast. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. I'll get the replay posted on the replay page shortly, and God bless. Fights on. I'll see you guys tomorrow.